from some of the other places I've been at. You know, I was a graduate assistant at Miami, so, you know, we were recruiting the same type of player there. But, you know, you hone in on, you know, the top prospects, and you get after them as hard as you can from all avenues, and making sure that every coach is a part of that. And that might be the biggest difference, is each kid we recruit, somehow every coach can be a part of that recruiting process, so y'all have to be on your toes with each recruit that you're recruiting.
The spring ball starting in a few weeks. I know, obviously, coming in fresh, trying to get a new system put in. What are you looking for to kind of see as spring ball from your guys? Is there anything in particular you're wanting to see you kind of grow in?
Well, it's going to be a new scheme for them. You know, it's going to be a little bit different than what they've done in the past. So we've got to make sure that we don't throw too much at them, and that they can grasp that first. But besides that, you know, I want to make sure that they're playing physical, that they're playing hard, and like I touched on, I want them to be effective pass rushers. So we've got to put an emphasis on that this spring as well.
Go back to your time in Miami. What were your memories of the rivalry of Florida State-Miami?
You know, it's funny. I can remember walking out pregame down in Miami in the old Orange Bowl for the Florida State-Miami game, and it was probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before kickoff, and the stands were already packed, and everybody was already loud. The players were at an enthusiastic high that they weren't for any other game that we played in that year. And I can remember having goosebumps going, wow, I mean, this is what it's about right here. I mean, this is the pinnacle of college football. And now I'm on the other side of that, you know, so I'm looking forward to it again, and that game as well.
Back on recruiting, what is the difference in walking into a living room with that Seminole logo on your shirt? Is it more than what you thought it was going to be, or is it probably what you thought it was going to be now that you're going in as a recruiter for Florida State, as opposed to some of the the smaller conferences you've been in?
It's what I thought it was going to be. You know, it's you know, you can compete with anybody. You know, there's no reason why somebody could tell you they're not going to come to Florida State. You know, so but that's what I anticipated. And so it's been real exciting to do that, and you know, being a recruiting guy like I am, and being a recruiting coordinator for all those years at Rice, I mean, it's something that I was looking forward to.
Coach, Florida State has a long line of great defensive ends, getting back to the 90s and all the way up to recently to Everett Brown. Not that necessarily factors into what you're doing as a coach, but is that something that you've considered at all in the back of your mind, being a defensive ends coach?
Yeah, I realize the talent that's been here, you know, and I even used some of that in my recruiting in that short time that I got here in January. And I know that there's a lot of tradition at defensive end, and I want to get back there. You know, I want our guys to have the same type of names as some of those players that you mentioned. So I know that there's a responsibility there at defensive end play, and I'm looking forward to it.
Jim Gladden's still around the university. Have you had a chance to meet him, talk to him at all?
I talk to him every day. Yeah, he comes. He has lunch here every day, and so I go down and have lunch, and we visit, you know, on a daily basis. And he's a very good person, very good, loyal Florida State fan, and an excellent coach. And I've enjoyed our conversations. We've talked about the past and, you know, some of his philosophies in defensive end play, and looking forward to continuing to build that relationship with Coach Gladden.
Coach, what will your geographic responsibility be in recruiting? Where do you cover?
What was I covering?
Florida State, what geographic regions will you primarily cover for recruiting?
I've got a Central Florida area, and I have a Georgia area. I basically have Southeast Georgia, and I have Central Florida in between Orlando and Tampa, all the way up to Suwannee County. And then I also have a East Atlanta area. That's my considered my local area. And then my national area will be Texas and Oklahoma and some of those other Midwestern states.
Are you responsible for Germany now?
Yeah, I'll be the German recruiter as well. You know, Coach Coley had that last year, but he's going to relinquish those German duties to me.
Do recruiting styles vary from region to region, do you think?
I think, yeah, I think that that you know, prospective student athletes are different in different parts of the country, and they may look at different things to interest them than others. So you got to know that going into it, and how to you know, address what's best about Florida State in a way that they're going to like and a way that they're going to understand. I definitely think that.
Your experience in Texas probably helps in that regard with,
Yeah.
with some of those
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you know, I've recruited there almost my whole career. You know, even when I was at Tulsa, I was a Texas recruiter, and I've got a lot of great relationships there, and I understand those high school coaches, and you're right. I think I understand those kids really well.
Seems to be so many high energy guys on this staff, from the head coach on down, and it seems the new guys are bringing in a good energy too. How much is that? How much are the kids starting to feed off that? You know, like through the workouts and things.
I think the kids, you know, every day in those workouts seem to give a little more and to understand our expectations and to feed off our energy, as you said. I think you can see the progress every single day. Now, there may be a lull there where, you know, things get hard and they may want to back off, and we won't let that happen. But I have seen it every day, an improvement in their attitude and their efforts in our off-season workouts.
You and Coach Higgins are obviously going to have to work pretty closely together on the defensive line. How's that relationship formed so far? What have you guys been kind of doing to prepare for the spring?
It's been great. I mean, Coach Higgins is an unbelievable man and an excellent coach. And, you know, what he knows about Florida State and what it's been like in the past and where we are now and where we need to go. I'm really looking forward to that. He's a guy, we actually have, you know, the same philosophy in a lot of our techniques. We've been able to meet on that on a daily basis, and we're using the same buzzwords. We're, you know, emphasizing the same things, and we plan on working together in a lot of ways throughout practice and even in some of our meetings, because you know, my philosophy and his as well is that we've got to be together on so many things. The defensive ends and the defensive tackles have to be on the same page on so many things that we're going to work together in practice and in meetings to make sure that happens. And you know, I'm really looking forward to working with Coach Higgins.
Might take a second here to what is not on DJ's bio is the fact that he is also coordinating the walk-on